NFL betting odds. But before that, cue the intro. All right. What's going on, y'all? Happy Thursday. I'm glad to be back once again. You see me, man. I'm going back to back. And today, we're going to get into some more NFL. I know it's been a little minute until I gave you guys some betting and some spreads, some betting odds and some spreads. But you know what? I'm feeling good. I got some momentum going. So, you know what? I want to kick it up. I want to talk about some football today. Definitely bring up some NFL topics that I want to discuss. All right. But before I do that, let me also drop the link in the comment section. So for those that want to tap in and also want to talk about some football, because, man, this playoffs coming up this weekend, a lot of good matchups, man. A lot of good teams playing. And I'm ready for it, bro. This is going to be a great weekend for NFL. Let's go. I'm on time today. Hey, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Hey, I'm on time today. Shit, I'm surprised I'm able to go 3 for 3. But here I am, man. Let's get into it. I'm about to get into some spreads, though. Our money. Appreciate you looking out, man. All right, so let's bring this up. All right, so here it is, a first game that's gonna be coming up. Actually, is this the first game coming up on Saturday? Let me double check. Let me make sure. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. That is the first game. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Kansas City Chiefs, baby. That's what I'm talking about, man. Another great game. Nobody really expected the Jacksonville Jaguars to be in this place anyway. But for me, I did see this team getting better. And to prove it, you know what? Just to prove it, right here. I'm betting all this, man. I got Buddy rookie card right here, Trevor Lawrence. I was ready for it, man. They was giving up all that smoke. They was talking all that talk about Trevor Lawrence. So you know what? I bet all in it and finna see what Buddy is really made about. Obviously he had them 4 interceptions in that first half. But this team defensively and offensively, they just got exponentially better. So I mixed up my words there. But I talked about in the last video, with the combination of Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, I think that's a great backfield. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is still working some things out, but this is the year where he can finally make a statement, right? He's in his sophomore year, and I think he did more than plenty enough. But what does this mean for this particular matchup? I think they're getting spanked. I think they're going into Kansas City. They're going into hostile territory. It's going to be loud up in Kansas City, man. So it's going to be a tough matchup in Arrowhead for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But for me, I'm a money line guy. I pick the money lines. You can let me know how you go about the spread, how you guys go about your bets. But for me, I'm going to take Kansas City Chiefs on the money line, man. I can't see the Kansas City Chiefs getting beat up in the first round of the divisional playoffs. And I just don't see it. At the least, at the bare minimum, this team gets knocked off in the AFC Championship game, and that entirely depends on who they go against. Obviously, there's another huge matchup that we're going to get into a little bit later. But let's just get into the next matchup. Right, so the next team that is going to be lined up is... Oh, and by the way, this is from The Athletic, and so 90% of experts on The Athletic said that the Kansas City Chiefs were beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Only one expert said the Jacksonville Jaguars would beating the Kansas City Chiefs. So, hey, that's a bold man. All right, so the next matchup is my New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I'm ready for this game. This is a divisional matchup. We know this team. We play this team twice a year. But you know what? I got to give credit, man. I've been saying it all year. The Philadelphia Eagles are one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL, not in just the division. Even though the NFC East have been balling out this year, we got 3 of the teams from the NFC East up in the playoffs this year. And actually, I think this is the first time in NFL history where 3 NFC East teams or 3 teams from one division has been in the divisional round. I seen it today. I think it was on like NFL CBS when they reported it though too. So Hey, I'm all for it though. I wish them Cowboys would have lost though last week, but hey, it is what it is, man. So we are underdogs. Or Chiefs are free money. Nah, for sure. Hey, good looking out the void. Thumbs up. You think so? I think there was one time this year when I bet the Chiefs to actually no, I bet them in the Super Bowl that year when they went against the Bucks. So I lost money. I bet on them that game, and I lost that money. But yeah, as it pertains to this matchup with the Giants and the Eagles, though, Giants are on the spread with plus 7.5 points to win. Plus 275 on the money line. Eagles are minus 350, and the total over and under is 48 points. Now for me, I'm going with now. This is where it gets a little tricky, right? Because I'm a Giants fan, man. I'm picking my team. When we in the playoffs, I'm always riding for my team. I'm betting on my team. F out of here, man. I ain't going for it. Now, if I was a logical person, right? Obviously, I would shift in on the side of the Philadelphia Eagles. But there were plenty of games, there were plenty of playoff matchups when my team, the Giants, were the better team than the Eagles. And guess what? We lost in the first round of the playoffs. Right? Same situation. And then this team, and obviously, we're going to have to see some of the things that we seen last week that the Giants did, particularly from Daniel Jones, but the offensive identity for the Giants falls mainly on the shoulders of Saquon Barkley, right? Daniel Jones can't be the player he is without Saquon Barkley, and part of that is with the play action, mixing some things up. Daniel Jones using his legs, being effective as a quarterback, and more importantly, not turning the ball over. So if these guys can do the same thing that they did in the first game against the Minnesota Vikings, they definitely have a chance. Now, the part that I'm most concerned about facing this team, obviously, is those receivers, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, man. And that's going to be the biggest thing on how to stop those guys. Because it's one thing when you just got to try to take away your number one weapon, but it's another thing to try to take away two weapons. Because I think Devontae Smith is a phenomenal wide receiver in this league. If he got a lot more targets, I think his numbers would be a whole lot better. But another thing that we do got to factor in is how the Eagles have played ending off the season. Jalen Hurts had a shoulder injury. We don't know what that's looking like. Clearly, he's going to be back in this game. There's no way in hell he's going to miss this game, right? But if we can provide some pressure on Jalen Hurts, have him try to throw the ball, force him to really step outside his character and contain him, and the New York Giants were going to have a chance, baby. I'm taking the Giants with the plus 275. Call me crazy, but I don't care. Right? So the next matchup now, which I believe is going to occur on Sunday, is probably the game of games. Wow, and look at all that. Experts they're all picking the Eagles. All of them. And don't you find that crazy, though? They all picked the Eagles. But then one guy, look, where's that dude? Jay Morrison. He picked the Eagles to win, to beat the Giants. But he picked the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. What's good with Buddy? Is Buddy good? Hey, man, I was going to say my team. I was going to rock with my team, man. Come on now. So I should just put the chat right there on the side so you guys can at least see it on the screen. Hey, I gotta rock with it, man. Come on, man. We in the playoffs. I'm not biased when it comes to the regular season, right? I try to be a little bit less biased in the regular season because, like I said, if I had to be honest, I did not think my Giants was gonna be even able to have a chance this year. But now that we started to see some things rolling, obviously, I gotta ramp up for them, Let me get this out of here. So the next matchup now is probably going to be the game of the week. Probably the game of the year. There's a lot riding on this game. I mean, clearly, it's just like every other playoff game. But these two particular teams, right, they didn't get a chance to play each other in that game that we had saw them with Damar Hamlin, right? Good luck to brother. Obviously, we hearing that he's feeling a lot better. So there's a lot emotionally riding on this game. But from the fundamental level, right, you having two powerhouse quarterbacks go against each other. You have Joe Burrow and you have Josh Allen. One that was projected and one that was the favorite to win the Super Bowl and also win MVP. And then on the other hand, you have Joe Burrow, who just came out the Super Bowl last year, something Josh Allen hasn't done. Right. So two of these quarterbacks, two of these teams, two of these powerhouse teams are going to be going at it. I don't even know if this is going to be a high scoring game or not. Last I checked, the Cincinnati Bengals, they've lost a lot of offensive linemen. I think previously 3 in the past couple weeks. And then also, the Buffalo Bills have taken some hits on the defensive end. Clearly, they're not going to be playing with Von Miller, and Micah Hyde has been out at the safety position. So they're really down to, a couple guys. And DeMar Hamlin, too, he was playing on that end, too. He was replacing Micah Hyde. So now you don't even have both those players, at least on the passing end. So maybe there's definitely probably going to be some plays downfield at some point in time, right? So with the spread, the Bills are favored in this game by 5.5 points. The money line, the Bills are minus 250 with the Bengals plus 200, and you can go over under 48.5 points total. Now, for me personally, I am going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals, right? I'm just going with this because from what I've seen from the Bills, I haven't been completely convinced, and especially with the injuries. Joe Burrow is not a guy that's turnover prone as much as Josh Allen, right? And I do have some stats to kind of back that up. I should have had that on record because I was watching some show and that's what I had seen. Actually, let me just bring it up. Come on now, I'm live streaming. Got to get my facts, man. Or where's the picture I took? Oh, yes. Right here. I got it. All right, so in the 2022 season, including playoffs, Josh Allen has 16 interceptions, which is the most in the NFL currently, and then 22 turnovers in total, which is the most in the NFL, and then 6 games with 2+ interceptions, which is the most in the NFL. Let me get rid of that too. Give me that logo for Cowboys are going to beat the Niners. Woo! We going to talk about it. Bro. We going to talk about it. But hold off on that. Man, out here tripping. I said I picked the Bucks. Picked the Bucks in the Super Bowl that year, but I lost my bet. The Kings beat the Bucks that same day. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, man. So back to what I was saying though. I got Cincinnati Bengals to win this one. I see 70% of the staff are picking Cincinnati too. So I'm trying to, but yet they're still the underdogs. All right. So now the game of games, the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers. You know who I'm going to say to win this game, right? I'm picking Niner Nation, baby. F out of here, man. I'm never picking the Cowboys to win nothing in their life, man. Through my lifespan, hey, they might win a Super Bowl, but not in my lifespan. I hope I don't see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to witness it. I don't want to go through it. I don't even want to smell it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to envision it. Nothing. I don't want to see nothing Cowboys when it comes to Super Bowl because I like seeing them in pain. I like seeing them suffer without a Super Bowl championship. Me and my Giants, we good. We good over here, man. I seen 2. We Gucci, man. We living it up. We running up. We playing with house money right now. But the Cowboys, I'm picking the Niners to win this game, and I'm going to tell you why. And by the way, I'm picking the money line though too. I'm picking the money line. Now, if I did want to make some money, and I had to go with what you said though, our money, I would pick the Cowboys strictly, if I wanted to be risky and make some money on the side. Cowboys are gonna win, bro. Y'all better take care of business so y'all meet up. Nah, that would definitely be That would definitely be a really good conference championship game. But I'm gonna tell you why they can't, man. I'm gonna tell you why they can't. They're gonna tire out that defense. Remember, Jimmy Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl throwing just over 200 yards in the entire postseason. And this is the same exact team that they had before, but better, right? Actually, let me bring up some numbers for you, or let me at least talk about it. I have it on the screen, but I don't want to kind of avert from what I got up right now. So since the 49ers have acquired Christian McCaffrey, he's had 228 touches, 1,300 total yards, and 12 touchdowns since he's joined, right? And this is just Christian McCaffrey, right? I don't even feel like he's the best player in his position on his team. You get what I'm saying? And this is just my opinion at the end of the day. And Christian McCaffrey's a great player, but it was a great addition. The reason why, another big reason why I'm picking this team is because Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy, man. He has weapons for days, bro. And the thing about it is too, with Brock Purdy, they don't have to go into this game asking a lot out of him. They don't have to put too much on his shoulders, because at the end of the day, they know that they can run down the Dallas Cowboys defense all day, right? They don't have to pass. That's what matters here. But with the Cowboys, more than likely, Dak Prescott is going to have to get things going. But remember, he's going to be playing against the number one defense now. Main thing here is where I'm getting our money is that we haven't seen Dak Prescott play the way he did last week against a great defense. So is that what you betting on? I'm not taking that bet. Last I checked, this guy led the league in interceptions. That was last year. I mean, this was just this year. You get what I'm saying? So I know the Cowboys are going to come into this game, especially because of last year. They're probably going to come into this game with some revenge, with some pressure on their shoulders. But this Niner team, they're gonna come in sound. They're gonna do what they gotta do, man. They're gonna have trouble with them boys, especially Kittle and Deebo. I see it now. I'm a huge Deebo fan, man. I think Stephon Diggs is gonna have some problems with that boy. So I'm just being honest. This is my opinion now. That's all I'm saying. So if I had to sum it all up, though, let me see. Let me get rid of the chat real quick. If I had to sum this all up, I would say I got the Niners, Cincinnati, my Giants, and then the Chiefs. Right? So that's not a bad card. Honestly, I feel like I played it a little bit more safe because I picked more favorites than I did underdogs. Well, actually, it's really 50-50. So the Cincinnati Bengals and then the Giants are the underdogs, and then the other two teams. So I split it down the middle. I'm fine with that. All right, man. So let's get into some other news, though. Let me bring up my Discord. I got something else funny for you, though. Let me bring this up real quick. Yes, sir, baby. Brock Purdy, CeeDee Lamb, NBA Jam, SummerSlam, Can of Spam, don't matter. Niners by 20, baby. Come on now. That's how we doing it. I'm not even a Niners fan. It's like I'm repping them more. I'm repping them more than the fans. Right, but here's some insight though too. Here's what our season has looked like when we've been in the playoffs though. So usually when we get a win, we start rolling. Things start to pick up. Things start to look a little bit different for us. So if you guys can't see it, let me try to see if I can bring that out. We probably can't. But the Giants have been all or nothing in the playoff recently. Obviously, the years we won were in 2007, 2011, and basically every year that we've won our first playoff game, we've been on a run. Now, I don't know about all that. I'm just being honest there. Even if we were to win this game and go against the Cowboys in the conference, that would certainly be, extremely difficult, to go against the Cowboys, because that's why I feel like whoever comes out from the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl, because you're going through defenses, man. Like in the AFC, it's quarterback play. But in the NFC, you got the powerhouse defenses over there. You got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys, you got the Niners. And then for all it is, the Giants, we've had our injuries, but we've been solid too. We can creep up on you. Our defensive front ain't nothing to sneeze at. So just being honest there. What else? Let me see. Okay, final rookie ranking. So you know what? Let me bring this up though too, because this was something to talk about. Final NFL rookie rankings. Hopefully you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see it. Let's see. Try to get a little bit smaller. Yeah. So from the rookie rankings, who do you guys? Let me know in the comment section who you guys have as winning rookie of the year on offense and defense. I mean, for me, I got Sauce Gardner. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's very subjective, but honestly, we got to give a huge shout out to a lot of these corners that played this year. A lot of these rookie corners. We got a lot of guys that balled out this year. Right? The only two players I can say at the top of my head, pull this up, is obviously Sauce Gardner. Right? The other guy, Tariq Woolen on the Seattle Seahawks, right? And who else? No, nobody else? Okay. All right. I guess those are really the two that mainly, people have been talking about, though. But we've also had a lot of good players, a lot of other good players. The Jets have drafted really well this year. Garrett Wilson has a legitimate case to be offensive rookie of the year, right? Kenneth Walker, the running back for the Seattle Seahawks, had a phenomenal year also. Everybody thought everybody was down and out with the Seattle Seahawks, but then they completely switched it up. So they have draft picks and they have a good team. So now they're going in, they're set for a really great offseason, right? Tyler Linderbaum, don't know too much about him, but I'm assuming if he's on here, he's straight. Damian Pierce, Christian Watson, two players that really, did their thing this year also. Christian Watt, I know he definitely had a stretch of games where he was having touchdowns back to back to back. But I think in the last couple weeks, he kind of fell off a bit. But to have Brock Purdy on here at number 10, right, he just deserves that recognition, to say the least. He didn't play the entire season, but it is what it is, man. I feel like he at least deserves the recognition, but it would be crazy if he won a Super Bowl MVP. You feel what I'm saying? That would be dope. To have Mr. Irrelevant win Super Bowl MVP. Honestly, if my Giants don't win it, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him, to be honest with you. All right, but I had something I did want to pull up. Let me try to get pull this up for you, because I think this was something important to bring up. Yes, right here. I got it for you. Boom! Why Brock Purdy is 49ers QB1 into the future and Trey Lance is QB number 2. So I read an article. I saw an article a couple days ago, and it said, opinion, 49ers are not going to come out and say it, but Brock Purdy has won the starting quarterback job for the San Francisco 49ers. Or at least he's going to be automatically given the starting quarterback job for the 49ers. right? I mean, and I think we was all thinking that. I was already thinking that, to be honest. Like Brock Purdy. Now we know that this really comes down to him and Trey Lance. Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy was gonna be kicked out, was leaving the 49ers. And I think, you know what? I think he does have some value. This year, I think he played better than he did in his previous years. But we know Jimmy G can be a little bit shoddy, but that veteran experience, the things that he's been through, and obviously his experience in playoff games, I think that's invaluable. You can't really get that anywhere else. So I don't that's a conversation for another day to see where Jimmy G is going. But with that being said, man, push that aside. Brock Purdy is officially the starting quarterback for the Niners. I don't think there's really much conversation, but it's going to be unique, to see how the 49ers handle the situation, to say the least. You've went through so much just to try to obtain Trey Lance. You traded up for him. You gave up a lot for him, but now you stumbled across Brock Purdy, your third string QB, who won a playoff game for you in his playoff debut. And looking into it, we know that Trey Lance is going to have an opportunity to compete for the starting job. He'll have that opportunity. But right now, I mean, this team is not going to be shifting. They're not going to be changing quarterbacks anytime soon, at least at this moment. Clearly, I mean, why would they? But I'm talking about in the future, as far as who's the starting quarterback, because we know they've been bouncing around. They wanted to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. They didn't, but they were kind of hanging on to him because they weren't completely convinced on Trey Lance. And then Trey Lance wasn't having the best couple games in the start of the season, but it's only the start of the season, man. You got to get a good amount of games to really get a good evaluation of a player. And not to mention, though, too, it was his first year. It was his first time really stepping in. He had a couple games on his belt. I think it was just 2 games the year before, and then this year, I think he got hurt in the second game this year. So I doubt it, man. I wouldn't. I'll do the Bill Belichick. Sorry, this guy's I'm just rolling with Buddy right now. The Tom Brady effect. So let me know in the comment section, man. Let me know what you guys think, how the 49ers should handle this quarterback situation. What do they do with Trey Lance? You just have him as a backup QB? Do you trade him? Do you keep Jimmy G and then trade Trey Lance? that would be very how can I put it? Very ambitious. Let me see. What else? Okay. I think this one is good too. Ranking every potential 2023 Super Bowl matchup from worst to first. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little evaluation. Bleacher Report dropped this, so they're gonna be having they're gonna be ranking every possible matchup of every team in the Super Bowl. So let's check this out. Let's see what they got. Let's see what they cooked up here. 116 is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the 49ers. Looks like there's some very popular, very intriguing, and very talented teams still alive. We don't mean too much offense to the Jaguars, but they're pretty clearly the lowest team alive on the national totem pole right now. Would it be fun to see Trevor Lawrence on another national stage? Sure, but a matchup between the 9-win Jaguars and the San Francisco team quarterbacked by Brock Purdy wouldn't move the needle in comparison to any other possible tilt right now. And I completely agree. I mean, the 49ers, if this matchup were to even occur, this team would get freaking slaughtered. The Jacksonville Jaguars will get reamed if they were to go against the Niners in the Super Bowl. But that is why it is the last matchup on this list. All right, so who else? Who's next? The Jaguars and the Giants. All right, so on paper, this is arguably worse than Jags and 49ers. Neither team reached 10 wins in 2022, but that might result in a closer game than Jacksonville, San Francisco. You also wind up with a non-Goliath champion, which is always a little fun. And the New York Giants have a large following. Still, it's a low-profile matchup between two so teams. And I agree, man. To an extent. I mean, nobody would really expect it, but who's to say this is not going to happen? So let's keep it pushing. All right, so the Jaguars versus the Cowboys, man. So they have the Jaguars basically every matchup is like on the bottom, bro. So any Super Bowl matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars in is basically like one the worst matchup. Basically, that's how I see it. So like them or hate them, America's team draws so much attention that Super Bowl meeting between unpopular Jaguars and the Cowboys still ranks ahead of every other Jacksonville matchup except the one that pits the former team's head coach against it. Still, the blowout potential is high here, so it remains in the bottom quarter, right? Self-explanatory. I don't really need to expand across that. But obviously, the Cowboys, if they were in the Super Bowl, this would have the NFL up in flames. I'm not gonna hold you. It would be fun to see. It would be fun to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, but it would not be fun to see them win the Super Bowl. Right? I know I'm a hater, but hey, the link's in the chat, man. If y'all want to talk y'all shit, hey, come with it. All right, so Jaguars versus the Eagles. Jaguars fans won't be happy with the first four listings here. Both of them will likely have words with me on Twitter. Again, no disrespect intended, but this goes with the territory when you have a small fan base and aren't an elite team on paper. This one, however, gains points because it would involve current Jags head coach Doug Peterson going up against the Philadelphia Eagles team that fired him just 2 years ago, right? So we all remember, Doug Peterson. He was a coach. He was a coach in place when they had Carson Wentz and he injured his leg, and Nick Foles went on to be Super Bowl MVP, right? So Doug Peterson was the head coach, and they let him go. But now I don't know the coach's name off the top of my head, but they're doing a phenomenal job. The Philadelphia Eagles front office upstairs, they're doing a phenomenal job with this roster, and they built a well-built team around Jalen Hurts. So again, Jaguars are getting slaughtered. So now we got our first good matchup here. Bengals and Eagles. Decent quarterback matchup between two young stars, and this should be a competitive game, but there's really no rivalry here. The Bengals also don't attract close to as much as attention as the Bills or Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC, while the Eagles aren't quite as much of a draw as least as the Cowboys in the NFC. It's a matchup. They say that, but honestly, this would be a crazy game, man. They put it so low. Honestly, I would probably have it a little bit higher, because even though the Eagles are a better team than the Bengals on paper, I think the Bengals offense is really electrifying. That wide receiving core can go toe to toe with any wide receiving core, and in the Super Bowl, man, it really comes down to that that quarterback matchup. That head-to-head quarterback matchup. And, as long as Joe Burrow's playing, he always has a chance. And that Bengals team, though, too, they got some grit in them, man. They don't give up, regardless to any team. And I believe they've won in the Bills. The Bills and the Bengals have won probably their last 9 games, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So let's I'm gonna fact check that, though. Get that, bring that up, though. Okay, let me roll down. I don't want to lose y'all. Right? By the way, like and subscribe, man. Show some love. It's free. All right, so number 11 is the Bengals and Giants. I think this would be a better chance at being a close contest than Cincinnati and Philadelphia, and you have that David versus David factor with no Goliath in the picture. Still, the Bengals aren't a hot attraction, and the Giants had a negative scoring margin during the regular season. All right, I would love to see it. Come on now, why wouldn't I love to see my New York Giants in the Super Bowl for a third time? Right, but I would definitely say this is a tough matchup. But even for the Bengals, man, it would be a tough match for them. I feel like our front four, our defensive linemen, we'll tear through that offensive line, man. So this would definitely be a good game for sure. I would love to see it. Come on now, I'm feeling every Giants matchup. If I'm keeping it a stat, I'm feeling everyone. The Chiefs and Giants. We interrupt the AFC feline named team bashing for a shot at a Chiefs Giants matchup that would have considerable blowout potential with a high point spread. Still, the very existence of Patrick Mahomes, Daniel Jones, and that New York fan base keeps this one outside of the bottom half dozen. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. This is the only one where I feel like we not gonna have too much of a chance on this one. That like just I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. That's gonna be hard for us if it comes to it. All right, so the next one, Bengals versus the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys are the Cowboys, and they make games fun because they're so polarized. This could also be a very low spread one way or another, as Dallas and Cincinnati had nearly identical defensive adjustment value over average totals at Football Outsiders. Right, so I think this definitely be an interesting game. Joe Burrow would have a tough time against the Cowboys, and I think Micah Parsons would have like a freaking field day. On Joe Burrow, it would be hard to stop that guy, but we'll see. We'll see if it happens. All right. Let me know in the comment section which matchup you guys feeling so far. All right, which one are you guys feeling? I'm gonna put the chat up on the screen just in case you guys want to see which Super Bowl matchup you guys got. Right, number 8, the Bengals and the 49ers. They've met in 2 Super Bowls, both coaches and branches on the Mike Shanahan coaching tree, and both teams will be looking to get monkeys off their backs following recent Super Bowl defeats. It's quite a solid matchup, but a low-profile Bengals fan base in the absence of a high-profile quarterback in San Francisco limits the game's potential. I completely freaking disagree with that. Come on now. Like people make it seem as if like the Bengals haven't been a really good team in the past 2 years. And Niner Nation, I mean, as the Niners have a huge fan base too. Like why are we not why are we not factoring that in? And to have somebody like Brock Purdy, who's Mr. Relevant, who we wouldn't see in this position and playing well at that, I think they're kind of downplaying this matchup. I think this would be a really good game to watch, and they're tripping. But Niners would slaughter Bengals because that defensive front, man. Let me see. What else? Okay. Bills and Giants. For obvious reasons, the Bills, the Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys dominate the top half of this list. The Giants sneak in here with Buffalo because this could be a fun throwback to one of the best Super Bowls ever played. Sorry about that. There's also the Brian Daboll versus his former team narrative, but the blowout potential is high because the Bills are a much better team on paper. Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you on here. We need to up our secondary if we're gonna be able to go against somebody like Josh Allen, man. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot to go against a team like this, especially with it's almost with the. You can almost make a comparison with Daniel Jones to Josh Allen. I mean, but clearly though, Josh Allen Josh Allen has a way better arm than Daniel Jones, right? But I mean, he's turned the ball over more than Daniel Jones this year, right? So one thing that I did say about Daniel Jones that I didn't like about him was that he turned over the ball way too effing much. But now, we're seeing a different Daniel Jones, at least in the past couple games, at least in the past month. He's been having one of the highest QBRs and one of the highest completion percentages. Right, but with that being said, and that's why I feel like Brian Daboll was really able to adjust, and it was easy for him to coach Daniel Jones because he had a poor man's Josh Allen on the New York Giants. No disrespect, but you get the analogy. That's my point here. Right, Bills versus the Eagles. Right, less of a narrative for this potential Bills Super Bowl matchup. But you get 2 rabid fan bases backing 2 teams that lost just 3 games each this season. Plus, we're talking about Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts, and it's hard to imagine they wouldn't come down to the wire. No, for sure. I think this game would be gritty, nitty. It would be bloody in this one. right? And you're gonna have two guys who's gonna be fishing to make plays. Jalen Hurts, I know in that opportunity, man, he's gonna come out and he's not gonna give up. Even though Josh Allen is gonna do his thing, he's gonna be throwing the ball upside down to the side, through his legs, whatever, running the ball, hurdling over players, trying to truck defensive linemen, trying to get into fights with defensive linemen, right? So this would definitely be a very, very interesting game. But honestly, I'll rock with the Bills. I rock with the Bills on this one. All right, Bills versus 49ers, another interesting game. So these were the top two teams in the NFL in terms of both uh, defense adjusted. I don't freaking know the acronym, and scoring margin. And Josh Allen versus Mr. Irrelevant would be quite the narrative as the Bills seek their first ever Vince Lombardi trophy. Still, there's not much of a rivalry or a narrative within the matchup, so it's only at the bottom of the top five. Right. I mean, hey, I love to see it. Anything past this point, really, it's just gonna be a bunch of good games, in my opinion. Like a lot of these matchups with Bills, Niners, Eagles, and Bills. Like, who wouldn't want to see these games, right? But I agree, man. Hey, this matchup right here, Bills and Niners. Why wouldn't we? Right. So number 4, Chiefs versus Cowboys. Big stars, hot shot head coaches, strong fan bases, dynamic quarterback. Can't ask for much more than Chiefs Cowboys, which really only lacks a bit in the narrative department compared to the top 3 potential Super Bowl matchups on this list. Still, that this ranks 4th shows how many sick possibilities remain on the table here in mid January. I'm not gonna lie, this would be a crazy, crazy Super Bowl. People are gonna be ramping up for this one. This is gonna be all over the place. Cowboy fans are gonna be rumping rampant. Kansas City Chiefs, they've been here before. Patrick Mahomes, but the matchup in particular, you're gonna have to see some plays from both ends of the field, and another head-to-head QB matchup. And also, what would this mean for Dak Prescott, man, to really be in the Super Bowl? If he were to get to a Super Bowl, or at least bare minimum, and this is, and I'm kind of taking away something else here from somebody else. But if Dak Prescott were to at least win this game against the 49ers, he would clearly be the best quarterback in the NFC East. Right now, I think he has it by a landslide. But one, we need to see how things are looking for Daniel Jones. And then another thing, we got to see how things are looking for Jalen Hurts this year. But as of right now, man, I'll give it to Dak Prescott by a landslide. I'll say he's the best quarterback in the NFC East. Oh, Chiefs by 20, by the way. Chiefs versus the 49ers. All right, guys. Honestly, I'm going to save it for the end. There's a lot to love here. Kyle Shanahan's attempt at redemption against the very team that burnt his 49ers in the Super Bowl, plus the Brock Purdy versus Goliath, Patrick Mahomes factor, as Mahomes looks to further solidify his legacy and establish a Chiefs dynasty with Andy Reid. It's also likely to be close, but Purdy is a wild card. Now, be honest, this is my Super Bowl matchup. This is the two teams that I have going to the Super Bowl. I have the Niners claiming the NFC, and then I have the Chiefs claiming the AFC. But we gotta see it for itself, man. We have a big weekend coming up, so hey, gotta call it though. So this is my matchup right here, and they have them at number 3. Right, and by the way, I'll let you know, but we gotta see though. We gotta see. All right, so number 2 is the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Take Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Jalen Hurts, and 2 high-profile teams, and then throw in the element of Reid facing his former employer in the freaking Super Bowl, and you have a sweet battle between the only 14 game winners from the 2022 regular season. Still, this falls just short of the top spot because of the history between two other teams in contention. Right, so no, for sure, this would definitely be a legendary matchup. I remember when Andy Reid was the head coach for the Eagles, and I hated that man Andy Reid when he was coaching for the Eagles. I'm glad he's not coaching the Eagles no more. You know, I'm glad he's with the Kansas City Chiefs now. You know, but to say the least, though, this would be a phenomenal matchup. I mean, all of these are really all great matchups. Like, they're all great matchups. Right, so just leave it at that. Number one is the Bills versus the Cowboys. Now, I wonder why this is number one. So, Buffalo, Dallas, Super Bowl takes number three. Would be the ultimate juiciness level for fans and the media. The Bills hope fifth times a charm on the Super Bowl platform and third times a charm specifically against the nation's most popular but polarizing franchise. You've got Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, a deep historic rivalry, and two of the league's fourth highest scoring offenses. It really would be the NFL's dream come true for this Super Bowl, right? So let me know, man. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with the Bills and the Cowboys being the best Super Bowl matchup we can come up with? I mean, that's what Bleacher Report is saying. So Bleacher Report is saying that, let me get this out the way. Bleacher Report is saying that the Bills and the Cowboys are the number one Super Bowl matchup due to the history, right? We know about the Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls and not winning nothing. And also, right, how many times did they go against? They went against 3 times. Oh, so they went against the Cowboys 3 times? Woo, man, that must be a bummer. Right, so we know about Bills Mafia, man. We know they coming to play. Like the Cowboys, like I said, man, I could see them in the Super Bowl, but I'm picking Bills Mafia, man. I'm picking the Bills if this were to end up the Super Bowl matchup, right? Also get into something else while I'm at it. Let me get rid of this and bring up something else that I think would be interesting, right? Right here. Right here. Right, so Tom Brady's landing spots, right? So we've heard the news, we heard what's going on with Tom Brady. More than likely, he is going to be leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We don't know whether he's going to retire or play for another year and head into free agency. But what we do know is that he wanted to take some time to kind of reflect. He's probably going to wait till after the Super Bowl, maybe, to make this decision, or maybe within the next coming weeks. But the fact of the matter is, the Tampa Bay Bucks need to know because they're letting everybody go. They made huge coaching changes, right? They swept everybody under the rug, right? Or maybe that's the wrong analogy, but they got a lot of people up out of here. Actually, I even have like a let me see, made changes. Let me bring this up real quick before I can keep this on. So let me bring this up. Right here. Right, so the Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers announced today the team has parted ways with offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich, specialist coach Chris Boonwell, wide receivers coach, offensive quality control coach. I don't even know who that is. Offensive defensive line, assistant defensive line coach, running backs coach, quarterbacks coach, senior offensive assistant, outside linebackers coach. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. We appreciate the hard work and contributions that all of these coaches made to our successes over the past 4 years, said Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles. As a collective group, we did not meet the high standards that had been set for the past year, and my focus now is on doing what is needed to ensure a successful 2023 season. These were very difficult decisions, but something that I felt was necessary for our football team going forward. Right, so that's basically, kind of going back to what I said. How the Buccaneers are cleaning house, man. They're getting rid of everybody on their coaching staff. And then so that goes back to what I was saying with the whole situation with Tom Brady. Is he gonna come back to this situation? Is he gonna go to, is he gonna go to some other team? Is he gonna keep playing football? I pray to God that Tom Brady retires, because I am tired. I am sick and tired of seeing this man play football. Right? I'm sick and tired of this man. I'm sick and tired of hearing his name. I'm sick and tired of him being a GOAT. Just go off to the sunset, man, and enjoy your family. Go enjoy life. Why you want to keep playing football, keep playing in the cold, getting knocked upside the head, getting tackled by grown ass men coming at you with 4.5 speed? Come on now, give it up. We don't want to keep. We don't want, and take Aaron Rodgers with you. Take Aaron Rodgers with you, bro. You feel me? But who do you guys see? Where's Tom Brady gonna go if he does come back? We've heard a multitude of things. I don't know where this came from. Cody Benjamin. I believe this came from Fox Sports. So these were the top teams that were interested in Tom Brady. Right now, I doubt San Francisco goes for. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry, I just had to pick up a call real quick. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I think this is freaking ludicrous. There is no way in hell I would try to sign Tom Brady if you're the 49ers. So why? Yeah, he's on crack for this one. I don't see why. I don't see why. Why would they? Why? Now, one thing's for sure. I think Miami Dolphins is legitimate. It's a legitimate destination. But I don't see the purpose in it neither. I mean, they could go all in. They can bank on Tom Brady having one last hurrah, but we've never seen that before, man. Now if you were to go after Tom Brady, you really betting with house money. You betting with house money. You betting all the cards to get Tom Brady. For one more year. I think you had something good going on with Tua. The only problem is he wasn't staying healthy. And then another thing is these guys got to get used to playing in the cold, man. Jesus Christ. Like they were ass in games under 40-degree temperature. They were horrible. I think they lost like damn near all their games, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of one, maybe. Let me see. Teams. I can pull that up a little bit later, though. And then also New York Jets. Why not? Come on. You got freaking Zach Wilson. Make it happen. I don't care, bro. It's better than what they did with Brett Favre. If you could do that with Brett Favre, why can't you go after Tom Brady? Why not? Do it. New England Patriots. that'd be tough. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Now, this has been the biggest talk with Tom Brady with the biggest landing spot. We know that Derek Carr has officially said his goodbyes to Raider Nation. He's not going to be coming back, especially what they did. And me personally, I thought it made no sense. It made completely no sense why they would move on for Derek Carr. I mean, the Las Vegas Raiders had one of the worst defenses just in the past decade. And yeah, man, so the Raiders are going to need a quarterback. And Jared Stidham, in my opinion, it just isn't it. I think there's a reason why, because I believe what Jared Stidham didn't he play for the New England Patriots? I think he did. I don't want to be wrong though, but I think he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played for the New England Patriots in 2019 to 2021, and then this year was the first year he played for the Raiders, right? So I mean, I guess we have to see, but I think they're gonna regret it. Now the New Orleans Saints, it's possible. I don't see why not. And then the Tennessee Titans. I mean, Mike Vrabel. I believe he's probably played with Mike Vrabel. We know that Mike Vrabel played on the Patriots, right? But my thing about it is, like, when I look at any of these teams, though, I mean, besides the Jets, are any of these a sure thing? Like, is any of this like guaranteed for Tom Brady? Because we know what he wants to do. He wants to be in a position to win a Super Bowl. You know, and I think bringing in a 46-year-old quarterback, because he's going to be 46 next year, bringing in a guy, you're going to have to guarantee protection. You're going to need a running game. You're going to need really good receivers, right? And on top of that, you still got to have a defense. So I believe, Tom Brady will probably have a team-friendly deal just to accommodate for whatever team he's joining. But I just don't think it's worth it, man. I just don't see it that way. I think he should just hang it up, man. Honestly, to me, I felt like he should have hung it up after his Super Bowl with the Bucs. That would have been the most ideal situation, is to retire once you got that chip, when you left the team that you've played your entire career with. I honestly thought that was the best situation for him, but who am I to say? I'm not a quarterback, right? Here's the deal, man. We got a lot into it. We had some good topics. We talked about some good things on the platform when it came to NFL. I gave you some odds, brought some topics, talked about some things, right? But thank you guys. Please hit me with a like and subscribe, man. I'm gonna keep having content. Like I said, even though the channel on YouTube is CashSports, I am going to switch it to Cash Media, so be on the lookout for that. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notification button so you guys can tap in whenever. I'm only gonna keep having debates, and also I'm gonna incorporate a lot of other different things. I'm just trying to get these settings out because I am working a lot of these things by myself. So especially when it comes to like settings and computer and encoding, all that stuff is complicated, man. So I just try. I like simple things, man. I like 1, 2, 3, press the red button. And that's how I like things to work. So I'm an on-off switch type of guy, but it's just not how all things work. You feel me? So once again, I appreciate you guys coming out to Cash Media. We talked about some football. I am going to be hitting you guys with another stream here. Probably, if not today, then definitely tomorrow. But then here it is, man. Thank you guys for tapping in, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.